Are you gonna focus? I'm waiting. That's what I thought. Oh, I'm going on a tangent. I'm going on a tangent. Let it go. Let it go. Oh, my battery's gonna die. It always about to fucking die. Hey, how's it going? How's life? My name is Sophia. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I thought it would be interesting to do a how I rate / review books. Now, I've seen a couple of videos on this, but the video that inspired me to do this was Elena from Elena the Great. She has two videos, one where she discusses how readers interpret books depending on the context in which they are reading, and then she has another video discussing how she reads, rates, and reviews books. So I will leave both videos linked down below for you guys to check out. I highly recommend. They're really good quality content. And so yeah, I decided to do my very own how I rate review books. If I'm looking down, it's because I have my notes here, and because if I didn't write notes for this video, I would go on a tangent, and it's not fun editing my videos when I don't have anything prepared. It's actually kind of a pain in the ass. Within the context of me reading and rating books, I mostly read for escapism. That is the primary reason why I read. Escapism, entertainment, and for emotions. Like, I like it when a book makes me feel stuff. So when I read, I mostly focus on character development, world building, plot, kind of, as well as emotional impact. Particularly the character, world, and impact are the most important to me when I'm reading a book. So therefore, when I rate books, those are the ones that I tend to focus on the most. Yeah, so in almost every review, you'll hear me discuss characters, plot, world building, and emotional impact, because that is what is the most important to me. If I'm not attached to the characters, I find it very difficult for me to enjoy any aspect of the story. Especially, I have to feel attached to the characters in order to have that emotional impact I want. So like, they're kind of intertwined in that sense. For me personally, I don't mind unlikable characters, but their reasoning has to make sense and I have to be able to empathize with them. So one example of this is going to be Hilo from the Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee. Now, Hilo is a criminal. He's a murderer, and sometimes he can be a complete jackass, but I adore his character. I love his character simply because every decision he makes throughout the entire series is aligned with his character development. Another reason why I like to read is definitely for the emotional impact. I like high stakes in my stories, and I like it when there are consequences to character actions. But yeah, it's one of the reasons why I've been gravitating more towards adult fantasy lately, simply because I know it'll crush my spirit. I know that there's a possibility that a main character will die, and for some reason I like to torture my emotions. So yeah. And because I read for escapism, I don't tend to like contemporary fiction, because if I'm gonna escape, I'd rather not escape into this world. I'd rather escape into a completely different world with completely different culture, with a magic system and all of that good stuff. Which is why another really important aspect of my reviews and the way I read and process books is definitely world building. I don't have a specific way on how I like my world building. So for example, you have the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. I love that story, and within that story, N.K. Jemisin just throws you into the world. There is no world building, and I still found it very interesting, very entertaining. Whereas Brandon Sanderson, I've read a few books for him, and he tends to be very detailed in his world building, and sometimes he does tend to info dump quite a few times. And so for me personally, I don't have a preference as long as I think it's done well either way. I'll still enjoy the story. For some people, I know that plot is a very important aspect of the story, but for me, it doesn't really matter that much. Like I said, I'm mostly a character-driven reader, so the plot for me isn't an end-all be-all. I can look over plot inconsistencies as long as I'm attached to the character, the world building is well done, and if it hits me in the feels, I will still enjoy the story. I will say that this isn't always the case, and there are some exceptions to the rule. Elements such as writing style and theme aren't really as important to me as characters, world building, plot, and emotional impact, but I will occasionally pay attention to it. So for example, in terms of writing style, I don't really pay attention to writing styles unless I feel that it added or distracted from my enjoyment of a story. Examples where I felt that it added something to the story would be Circe by Madeline Miller, any book by Laini Taylor, The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender. Those are the few books where you will hear me discuss writing styles, simply because the writing style was so gorgeous to me that I feel like I have to mention it in the review. And the same goes for if the writing style is just god awful, I'll mention that in my reviews as well. The same thing goes for themes. I don't really focus on themes. Oftentimes themes will just go over my head unless it's really obvious to me or unless someone else has pointed it out to me. Those are the story structures that personally I tend to focus on the most. Next up, I'm going to talk about how I rate books. So the way I rate books is mostly a feeling I get. There's no such thing as an objective review or an objective rating, so obviously this is based off of my emotions and whatnot. I'm still trying to figure out my star rating, and so, you know, bear with me. Once I figure it out, once I got it to a T, I will let you know and I will update this video. I use the basic 5-star rating system. It's the most widely used, it's the most common. It's just easier for me to use that rating system. I do use half stars as well, because I feel like half stars add a little bit more nuance to my thoughts, if that makes sense. Heart. So 1-star reviews for me are gonna be complete garbage. It was a complete dumpster fire. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. If I give a book 1 star, it either means I couldn't finish it, DNF'd, or that I did manage to finish it, but it put me in a reading slump because it was so bad. Like a 1-star book for me would be that one book. I forgot its name. I've purged it from my memory, but like I'll leave a picture up here for you guys to just look at it. Sorry. I hated it so much. I hated it so much. A 1 star, I completely hated it, thought it was trash, don't know why this had to exist within the world. I don't have a 1.5 star. A 2 star means that I didn't like the book. I was able to finish it. It wasn't worth it, and I would not recommend it to anybody at all. A 2.5 stars for me means that the book was completely mediocre. Mediocre writing, mediocre characters, mediocre was its middle name. A 3 stars means that it was just a step above mediocre. It had potential. It had potential to be good, but it didn't quite reach that level. A few more editing passes and maybe, but not today. Not today, Satan. Not today. I would still recommend a 2-star book. Maybe I would recommend it to somebody who has different reading tastes, or I would recommend specific aspects of it. If the character development was weak, but the plot and pacing was amazing, I would say, hey, personally, I didn't like the character development, but if you are a plot-based reader, maybe you should pick it up. A 4 stars means it was amazing. It means that I enjoyed most of the story elements, except maybe there was 1 or 2 that could have been improved upon, but otherwise it was good. 4.5 stars for me personally means that it's a new favorite. I love it. I will talk about it forever and ever on my channel, and there is little to no issues within the story. 5 stars means that the story was perfect for me. Specifically for me. It means that it did everything it set out to do. These are the stories that crush my spirit. These are the stories I talk about every single day. There probably were some imperfections, but the story spoke to my soul, so I'm able to overlook some of those imperfections. So that is how I rate and review books. Feel free to comment down below. Let me know how you guys rate and review books. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope to see you I hope to see you soon with another video, and until then, I will see you soon. Bye.